If you like storytime vibes, hit subscribe and let's dive in together.
I can't believe you're feeding him my life. The words cut through the air before I knew I'd spoken. Her hand froze mid-motion. His smile died on the spot. And suddenly the whole room stilled. No clinking cutlery, no murmurs, not even breath. Just guilt, fear, and my rage hanging heavy in the silence. It started with a forgotten charger. If I hadn't left it at home that morning, none of this would have happened. Or maybe it would have, just later, in some crueler way. I was halfway to the office when I noticed my phone blinking at 7%, meetings stacked all day. I could have just bought another charger. God knows I've done that before. But something, instinct, fate, stupidity, told me to turn around. I drove the back roads, avoiding the highway. Told myself it was for the view, but deep down, I knew. The house hadn't felt like home in months. Even the couch, once the battlefield of playful fights over cuddle space, had become her private fortress. She sat there most nights, laptop open, angled away from me, shutting me out with a glowing screen. I pulled into the driveway at 10:15. Her car was gone. That stopped me. Fridays, she always worked from home. She loved the kitchen's natural light, used to hum while answering emails. It was her ritual, non-negotiable. And yet, she wasn't here. The silence in the house was sharp. I grabbed my charger from the nightstand, but something else caught my eye. A dress. Not just any dress. The red silk one. Backless. The one she wore on our anniversary 2 years ago, when she spun barefoot in our living room, laughing, alive. She hadn't worn it since. Now it lay draped across the chair like an accusation. I picked it up. Smooth, cold, dangerous. My chest tightened. I called her. No answer. Texted, "Where are you?" Read. No reply. On the couch, her iPad glowed. Google Maps open. A blue dot blinking downtown. I stared. My pulse slowed, heavy. Maybe she was with a client, a friend, but in my gut, I already knew. I've never been the jealous type. I never needed to be. Kate was loyal, or so I believed. But lately, even sitting beside me, she felt miles away. I asked once if she was okay. She said she was stressed. I believed her. Love makes you believe things you shouldn't. But that day, I didn't believe. So I drove. No plan. No script. Just a storm in my stomach I didn't know how to contain. The place was a boutique brunch spot. Marble tables, flowers in little glass vases. We'd been there once. She'd said it felt like Paris. I parked across the street, and then I saw her. Kate, in that red dress, hair curled just right, laughing, tilting her head the way she only did when she wanted someone to feel special. And across from her, a man, younger, expensive watch, confident, smiling like he owned her air. My heart didn't shatter. It froze. I sat in the car, breath stuck in my throat, watching her lift a fork, giggling as she fed him cake. He leaned forward, bit it, eyes locked, with hers. The same look she used to give me. I don't remember crossing the street, only the sound of my shoes on the pavement, the weight of the door handle. Inside, the hum of brunch chatter dulled. My eyes found them instantly. He saw me first, smile gone. He muttered something. She turned, her eyes widened, fork in hand, cake half eaten. "Michael," her voice cracked. "What are you doing here?" I stepped closer. My voice was calm, too calm. "I thought you were at work," she blinked. I thought you were home." The man shifted awkwardly. "Maybe I should—" "No," I said flat. "Stay." Kate touched his arm, protective. "Michael, please, let's talk outside." "We'll talk here." My voice cut like glass. The restaurant quieted. Forks hovered mid-air. Every pair of eyes on us. That's when I saw it. The bracelet on her wrist. The one I gave her on our anniversary. Still shining, but worthless now. I sat down across from them, pulled the chair out slowly, deliberately. Kate's hands trembled as she set the fork down. Her lips parted, but no words came. I leaned forward. Help me understand, because it looks a lot like you're on a date. The man cleared his throat. Look, man, she told me you two were separated. Kate flinched. You believed that? I asked, eyes locked on him. He hesitated. She said it was complicated, that you were just living together for convenience. Convenience? I looked at Kate. How long? Her silence said everything. 3 months, the man blurted, shrugging. Maybe 4. Kate's head snapped toward him. Why would you say that? Because he asked, he muttered. I leaned back. The weight of it settled over me. Months. While I thought she was tired, stressed, distant, while I carried us, she was feeding pieces of herself to someone else. I whispered, 2 months ago, at the lake house, you cried and told me you wanted to start over. Her eyes welled. I meant it. I swear Was this part of the restart plan? I gestured at the half-empty glasses, the intimacy dripping off the table. Silence. The man muttered something about not wanting to be in the middle. He stood, grabbed his coat, and walked out, leaving just me and her. Kate's eyes begged. Michael, please! I cut her off. My voice was low, steady. You already chose. You just chose the wrong person. I stood, every movement deliberate, and walked out. Her voice cracked behind me. Michael, wait. But I didn't look back. Because this wasn't the end. Not even close. This was just the beginning. I didn't go back to the office. I didn't go home either. Instead, I drove. No direction. Just asphalt unrolling beneath me while the inside of my chest burned. My hands clenched the steering wheel so hard the leather groaned. Every breath was sharp, like glass. 3 months, maybe 4. The betrayal played in loops, like a broken tape. Her laugh, with him. The way she touched his wrist when she wanted him to stay. The dress, the lies, convenience. The words stuck like poison. We weren't convenience. I built everything for her, for us, the house, the trips, the damn lake cabin where she swore she loved me still. I stayed up nights calculating mortgage payments so she could quit her job when she felt burned out. I thought I was giving her stability, a home. And all along, she was sneaking out in a red dress. By the time I pulled back into the driveway, it was almost evening. Her car was there. Lights on. She was waiting. I stood at the door a full minute before going in. Kate was in the kitchen, hands wrapped around a mug of tea like it could shield her. She looked small, almost fragile. But I knew better now. She started the second she saw me. Michael, please, let me explain. Explain what? My voice echoed against the walls. That you've been sleeping with him? That you fed him cake with my fork? That you lied about us being separated? Tears welled in her eyes. I didn't mean for this to happen. It just did. I laughed. Dark, ugly. Affairs don't just happen, Kate. Spilled drinks happen. Wrong turns happen. This takes planning. Lies. Choices. She stepped closer, voice trembling. I was lonely. You've been so focused on work, on your projects, on fixing everything except me. He made me feel seen. The words hit, but I didn't flinch. Seen? You wanted to be seen? I built a life around you, Kate. Everything I did for us. I know, she whispered, tears spilling. But somewhere along the way, I stopped being part of that us. Silence stretched. The only sound was the hum of the fridge, steady, relentless. I stared at her, really stared, and something inside me shifted. She wasn't mine anymore. Maybe she hadn't been for a long time. But if she wanted war, I'd give her war. "All right," I said finally, voice flat. "You made your choice. Now live with it." She blinked. "What does that mean?" "It means don't expect me to play the fool any longer." I walked past her, up the stairs, into the bedroom. Her scent was everywhere. Lavender lotion, faint vanilla from her perfume. It made me sick. I opened the closet, pulled down a suitcase, and started packing. She followed, panicked. "Michael, no, don't do this. We can fix it." I turned, sharp. "Can we? Tell me, Kate, do you even love me anymore?" Her lips parted, closed, opened again. But no sound came. That silence was louder than any confession. I zipped the bag. Her voice cracked, desperate. "Michael, please, if you walk out, we're done." I paused at the doorway, looked back. "We were done the moment you chose him." Then I left. For a week, I stayed at a friend's spare apartment, slept on a couch that smelled like old pizza and dust. It didn't matter, at least it wasn't tainted. Kate called, texted, long messages at 2 a.m. Apologies, promises. Please. I didn't answer, but I didn't block her either, because part of me wanted to see her squirm, and another part wanted revenge, not the screaming, plate-throwing kind. No, too messy, too temporary. I wanted something colder, permanent, a wound she couldn't bandage. I started small, quiet. First, I withdrew money from our joint account, legally mine as much as hers. She noticed. Texted me, "Why are you draining our savings?" I ignored it. Then I called the realtor about the lake cabin, the one she loved, the one she begged me to keep. I listed it under my name only, because I had bought it before we married. That stung. I could tell by the 3 voicemails she left, sobbing, begging me not to, but the real blow came later. I remembered something she once said, months ago, when she was tipsy. If I ever lost this house, I'd lose myself. So I made sure she'd lose it. I contacted a lawyer, quiet, efficient. He laid out the options. Divorce, asset division, the works. But I wasn't after half. I was after everything that mattered to her. And Kate, for all her talk of independence, cared most about appearances. Her image. So I gave her what she feared most. Exposure. I didn't blast it online. I didn't shout it from rooftops. No, I played it smarter. I printed the brunch photo, the one I snapped on my phone when I first saw them laughing, her feeding him cake. Then I mailed it. To her parents, her sister, her best friend. No note, no explanation. Just the picture. Let them ask the questions. Let her squirm under their disappointment. Within days, the calls started. From her family, mutual friends, all circling me with awkward sympathy. She was going through something. She was confused. I didn't correct them. I let the silence do the work. And Kate? She cracked. She showed up at the apartment one night, mascara smeared, voice hoarse from crying. "Michael, stop this," she begged. "Please, you're destroying me." I looked at her, steady, unblinking. "Good." Her jaw dropped. "You don't mean that." "Oh, I mean every word." Her tears fell faster. "I made a mistake, a terrible mistake, but you're killing us." "There is no us, Kate." My voice was calm, ice. "There's just you, and your choices, and now the consequences." She shook her head, desperate. "You think you've won? You haven't. You're bitter, broken, and alone." I leaned closer, my voice barely above a whisper. Alone is better than being lied to by the person I trusted most. She flinched like I'd hit her, and in that moment I realized this wasn't just revenge anymore. This was justice, the kind that doesn't come from shouting or breaking things. the kind that comes from letting someone's world collapse under the weight of their own betrayal. And Kate? She was crumbling. But I wasn't finished yet. Not even close. Because the man she cheated with, he thought he walked away clean. He was about to learn otherwise. His name was Daniel. I learned that from the credit card receipt Kate left in her purse. A hotel bar, 2 towns over, paid in full by Daniel Whitmore. It wasn't hard to find him. A few clicks online, and there he was. Finance guy, early 30s, gym selfies, networking events, pictures of him in tailored suits with captions like "Rise and Grind," "Polished," "Shallow," exactly the type who thought he was untouchable. Perfect. I started watching him, not obsessively, just enough. The gym he went to, the bar he favored on Thursdays, the sleek condo he rented. And then, one night, an opportunity fell into my lap. I saw him leaving the gym, laughing with a friend, when his phone slipped out of his pocket. He didn't notice. I did. By the time he realized and turned back, it was gone. In my hand. A lock screen of Kate's face smiled up at me. My stomach twisted. But I didn't look away. This wasn't theft. This was strategy. I kept the phone long enough to scroll through their messages once I cracked the code. Her birthday, of course, amateur mistake. The texts were nauseating. Last night was perfect. Wish I was waking up next to you. And the worst, her promise. Soon I'll be free. Just a little longer. So she wasn't just cheating. She was planning to leave me for him. I should have felt crushed. But instead I felt clarity, because now I knew exactly how to end this. Step 1 was simple. Exposure. I forwarded screenshots of their conversations to his boss, easily found in the company directory. A man like Daniel, working with high-profile clients, couldn't afford scandal. Affairs were bad for branding. 2 days later, he was suspended pending review. Step 2. Confrontation. I waited outside his condo, the stolen phone in my pocket. When he came home, dragging himself like a beaten dog, I stepped out of the shadows. He froze. "What the hell are you doing here?" I tossed the phone at him. He fumbled, caught it. His face paled. You should have stayed out of my marriage," I said, voice low. He swallowed. "Look, man, I didn't know she was still with you." "Bullshit." My words cut sharp. "You knew. You just didn't care." He tried to puff his chest, but his voice cracked. "So what? You're here to fight me?" I leaned in, close enough to smell the fear under his cologne. "No. I'm here to watch you lose everything. And trust me, you will." He blinked, confused. Then I walked away, leaving him clutching that phone like a live grenade. Meanwhile, Kate was unraveling faster than I expected. Her family had turned cold. Friends ghosted her. Daniel wasn't picking up her calls, probably too busy salvaging his career. And me? I was steady, calm, almost detached. That terrified her more than my rage ever could. She showed up again, this time with a different energy. Not begging, not crying, but defiant. "You think you've destroyed me?" she spat. "I still have the house, half your assets, half your future. You won't win." I smiled. Slow, cold. "You sure about that?" Her eyes narrowed. That's when I handed her the envelope. Legal papers, divorce filings, asset claims, evidence attached, photos, messages, receipts, enough to make any court side with me. Her hands shook as she flipped through them. This can't." "It can," I cut in, "and it will." She tried to mask her panic with a smirk. "Even if you take the money, you'll still be alone, bitter, empty." I stepped closer, my voice barely above a whisper. Better empty than fake. Better alone than chained to a liar. For the first time, she had no comeback, because deep down she knew I'd already won. The final blow came a month later. The divorce was finalized, the lake house sold, the accounts drained. Kate moved into a cramped apartment on the edge of town. Daniel was unemployed, reputation shredded. And me? I wasn't happy, not yet. But I was free. One evening, I drove past our old house. The lights were off, curtains drawn, a for sale sign planted in the yard, leaning slightly in the wind. She was losing it all. And that, I realized, was the true revenge. Not screaming, not fists, but silence. Absence, letting her rot in the space she created. I parked for a moment, staring at the house that once held every promise we made. Then my phone buzzed, a text from Kate. "I hope you're proud of yourself. You ruined me. I hate you." I stared at the words. My thumb hovered. Then I typed back, slowly, deliberately. "No, Kate, you ruined yourself." And I hit send. People always say betrayal feels like a knife. Sharp, instant, fatal. But that's not true. Betrayal is a slow poison. It seeps in quietly while you're looking the other way. It numbs you, makes you doubt, makes you weak, until one day you wake up and realize you're not the victim anymore. You're the cure. And sometimes the cure is cold, ruthless, unforgiving. Kate thought she could break me, that I'd beg, crumble, compete with her new lover. But she forgot one thing. You don't stab an engineer in the back. We know how to rebuild. And sometimes, rebuilding means burning the old structure to the ground.